Welcome to Journey to Esquire, the podcast. I'm Jocelyn Hardrick, founder and president of Diversity Access Pipeline, Inc., the company behind this podcast and other great programs, like Journey to Esquire Scholarship and Leadership Program, which provides $2,000 cash scholarships to third-year law students and internships to second-year law students, along with leadership training and mentors. And Journey to Esquire, the blog, which provides insightful articles to help navigate you through law school and beyond. Find out more on our website, www.journeytoesquire.com. Hey, have you heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that let you record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, just like I'm doing now. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can hear it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hi, it's Jocelyn Hardrick, the host of Journey to Esquire, the podcast. Welcome to another great episode. Today, we're going to be continuing with our interview of our board members, and I'm so happy to introduce to you today Michena Georges. Ms. Georges is one of our newest board members. She received her bachelor's from the University of South Florida, and she went to the in political science. And she received her JD from Florida A&M University College of Law. So we have a rattler. Ms. Georges is also a veteran who served for several years in the United States Navy as a hospital corpsman and an emergency medical technician. She currently works full-time for the federal government, and she's an assistant coach. There she performs the duties of a team coach in her absence and shares the daily responsibilities that ensure the team's quality and timeliness of service meet performance indicator goals. She also guides her team on best practices to complete their duties, as well as analyzes and interprets laws, rules, and regulations as they affect the establishment of new policies, procedures, and methods of operation. Prior to being an assistant coach, she was a rating service representative, and she made decisions regarding claims and remanded any claims back to the Court of Appeals. She was also a volunteer at the Garden at Litem program with the Sixth Judicial Circuit and with the VITA Tax Assistance Program while in law school. Through her military education, volunteer experience, Ms. Georges is uniquely qualified to assist students who are non-traditional, either because they're veterans entering law school at a later stage in life or interested in a non-traditional attorney career. Welcome, Michena.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
So a little secret, Michena is my cousin. It's like an open secret because I always got to tell people I'm so happy she's my cousin. We've been friends since we were little kids, and we actually went to law school together. That was pretty awesome. And I have a funny story to share about that when we get to it. So before we get into going to law school, why did you decide to become a lawyer?
Well, as Jocelyn said, I was an emergency medical technician in the Navy, and I got the opportunity to do an intern at JAG. It was a course to lead me to get my Master at Arms certificate for the Navy. So through that is where I decided that I learned that I wanted to be an attorney. So working with the JAG officers made it something that I thought I was really interesting, and I thought I really enjoyed it. So that was the main thing. That was the first time that I really started thinking about it.
Okay, nice. So describe your law school application process, because we said earlier you're a non-traditional student. Now you're a non-traditional lawyer. Talk to us about how you kind of started applying for law school, LSAT. What was all that like?
Well, I took right after I graduated from undergrad, I took about a year off and I worked. And I also took some LSAT courses to get prep courses to get ready for the LSATs. it was not easy because it wasn't something that was natural for me, the LSAT or the questions. So, but I did a lot. I can't remember which course I took, but I ended up, that helped me when it came time for the actual exam, actually getting prepared and knowing exactly how the test was formatted and what kind of questions they were asking, because I did not know. I didn't really know what to expect. It wasn't something that I had been preparing for years and years and years. But I did prepare for it during that 1 year off in between going to law school and graduating my undergrad. So, but it was through just the LSAT prep course. That's how I prepared.
And how did you choose the law schools you'd apply to?
Well, I wanted local. Growing up, I didn't grow up in Florida. I'm originally from New York City, and so we were. I went to USF undergrad, and so being in the Tampa Bay area, I was thinking I wanted something local, but it didn't stop me from applying out of state. I did apply out of state also. I applied all over Florida, and I got in at FAMU Law. And I also got waitlisted at another school out of state, which I was actually considering until I got my acceptance from FAMU.
Okay, nice. So now you're at FAMU. Did you enjoy law school?
I did. I think for me, I thought law school was the most difficult thing that I ever did, especially that first year. It was not easy. It was very challenging. I made the decision from the beginning that I would take out anything distracting. So I love to read. And so all the books that I normally read, I said that I was not allowed to read. I was not allowed to watch any television for that first year. During school, I just know myself. I know how I am. So in order for me to focus, I had to take some of these things out because it takes a lot. It was a lot of reading, and it took a lot of time, waking up early, and basically making the dedication to get through that first year. So basically, yes, I did enjoy law school. I made a lot of great friends that I have, 4 of my best friends I went to law school with. So, I met a lot of great people, and, FAMU Law is in Orlando, right downtown. So there was a lot of entertainment. So it was easy. It was enjoyable. I really can't complain. Those 3 years were, I think, one of the best times in school. So yes, I did. I enjoyed it very much, but it was very difficult.
Oh yeah.
The first year.
Yes. We cannot emphasize enough how much that first year of law school is about staying focused and really learning how to be good at law school. You got to learn. And it takes some time. It's going to take some sacrificing of your spare time and some sleep sometimes. But I'm glad you had such a good time. Rattlers are like die-hard alums.
They
You can't tell
are.
Rattlers anything. And we have 2 Rattlers in the class of 2021. So they're so happy. They were so happy to hear you're a Rattler. So let's talk about, you're wrapping up law school. I remember going to your graduation. It was at Disney, which is so awesome.
It was at Disney World. Yes. That was a very fun experience. It was hot.
Yeah, it was hot. But we were in the stage where they did the Lion King, I think, or something.
Yes.
And it was standing room only. It was packed.
It was
It was awesome because you were like the second or third class to graduate from the new FAMU
The
law.
new FAMU Law, yes.
Because there was the old FAMU law way back when. And I actually interviewed in our Journey to Esquire Oral History. Former Senator Arthenia L. Joyner was in the last class of the old FAMU. So we've come full circle. So, okay, you're graduating now. It's like time to look for a job. Talk about your job search after law school.
Well, you graduated. It's during a recession, so there was not very much going to. It was very, very difficult, the job search. You know, uh, I did not pass the bar exam. And then I was planning on taking it again. So it was just like, okay, what am I gonna do? I applied. I still applied to be like a paralegal. I was looking at those kind of jobs, and then my cousin, your husband, told me that the VA was hiring. So I applied. I put my application in at USA Jobs, and I applied for other jobs that I saw while I was on there, and I actually got several offers. And the position I ended up taking was the rating position, where I was rating veterans claims, and I really enjoyed that, and I've been with them ever since. But the application process was it took me a while. I graduated in May of 2009, I believe, and I didn't start a new job until April of 2010. And then in that time, I had taken the bar exam. But I applied to so many things, so many jobs, and a lot of them I didn't even hear back from, or even get an interview. But by the time I got the position I had gotten several offers, and so. Yeah, it was just it was a long process just because of the time. It kind of reminded me what's going on right now with the COVID, and it's kind of like coming back full circle again to a possibly new recession. So.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say, and what I've been telling students. I graduated in a recession. I was blessed. I had a job offer. Thank goodness they made the offer the summer before the recession hit, and they did not retract it. But right now, people are retracting offers. The bar exam did all kinds of weird things in 2020, and so some people did fail because it was just so different than how they had studied all 3 years of law school. And so that's good to hear. And thank you so much for sharing that story of, not passing the bar exam, not having a year to take a job, but you pivoted and now you're in a job you enjoy, you get paid well, lots of benefits. Yes. And so it takes some courage to share that, though. So I appreciate it. We've had other guests who've shared that as well, because they want to encourage people who may have failed the bar exam and want to take it again, or those who failed and decided, I didn't really want to practice anyway, so let me leverage my degree in a different way. And I think all those stories can have a happy ending, just depending on how you approach it and what you do with it, because you still have that knowledge. And like I said in your intro, you're still reading laws and interpreting them and leading them. And so the skills you learned in law school are paying off. So what advice would you offer to new and future law students about, just any kind of nugget of wisdom you want to give them?
I would tell them to just make sure they take that first year, take that time to focus, and also ask questions and ask for help. There's a lot of people who are willing to help you, and not everyone knows where to find that help, but if you ask, they will lead you. And I think that's one of the things that I didn't do as much as I should have when I was in my first year, is I didn't ask enough for help. And I'm learning, as I get older, and I just I know that there's things that I could have done differently that first year that would have maybe made some kind of different impact in for me. But yes, focus. Definitely make sure you take that year seriously, the first year, and just know that it's not as it doesn't come easy for everyone, and that's okay. I mean, I had some classmates of mine who it was very easy. I mean, they didn't even have to study. And that's great for them, but it's not for everyone. And try not to worry so much about what other people are doing. concentrate on yourself, because it can be very, very competitive. And everyone is very concerned about how well other people are doing. And I know it's, depending on what law school you go to, it is a factor. Like someone else's grade can affect you, but you can only do your best. There's no one else, no matter what, that you just prepare yourself so that you do the best and that you don't have any regrets.
That's very true. Some schools are pretty competitive. What I've noticed at places like Cooley and FAMU, they're more access schools. So there's still some competition, but there's this understanding that, they're going to have more non-traditional students, more older students, more part-time students. And so we're all just trying to get to the same end goal, right? Get that JD at the end of the day. So that's great advice. And talk to us about why you joined the board, because you're my cousin, but this is work, right? So I appreciate your support, but I think that for you there was a moment that you were like, wow, I really need to get involved. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, I think for me the moment, it is work, but yes, for me the moment was when I went to your graduation, from your first year of Journey to Esquire students, and I was just surprised at how emotional I got. I think I have, I knew you had started this, and I watched you, but it wasn't until that moment that I saw the impact. I mean, my goodness, I still remember. I can't remember his name. The
Luis Alama.
Luis. Oh. I just remember sitting there and just like ready to cry. And then he talked about how he just never wanted to public speaking didn't come easy for him. And it was just like, and then he did, it was so beautiful and he did so amazing. And I was like, why didn't you want to do this? But that was the moment for me that I felt like, oh God, I gotta help. I want to be part of this. So definitely, and I've really enjoyed it. It's definitely something that I want to continue doing, to helping out in any way I can. But I've really enjoyed connecting with the students and helping students in a way that I felt like I could have used some of that help when I was in my first year, but I didn't know what I didn't know, so it's like, we can, if we could get them to them early enough, we can definitely help them in their journey, just like Journey to Esquire.
We create lawyers who lead, mentor, and inspire one student at a time. So thank you so much, Michena. I've loved the story that you shared. And you're right. We don't know what we don't know when we're law students. Sometimes we're afraid to ask for help and we don't know who to ask. And that's exactly why Journey to Esquire exists. A place for law students to go, a place for law firms, judges, bar associations. We're a resource. And so, and this podcast is one of those resources, and so are our lovely board members. Thank you so much for making time to do this podcast. I appreciate you. For more information, follow us, share, subscribe, like on social media, and visit our website, www.journeytoesquire.com. See you next time.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Journey to Esquire, the podcast. Support, share, subscribe. And for more, visit www.journeytoesquire.com.